Yeah, this is a lot like deeper than I've gone.
This is Chad. He's a online fitness coach and a one-on-one client of mine. He came to me because he was completely lost in what he needs to post in order to attract clients who are going to pay him $3,000 plus for a online fitness program. And the real problem that he has is he just looked like every single online coach out there. And he's even got that generic advice of copying other people's content, use these certain frameworks that look just like everybody else, or post about the top 5 bicep exercises that somehow is going to magically get somebody to want to pay for his $3,000 program. In this 40-minute program, I give Chad a absolute masterclass when it comes to structuring the messaging around his offer and exactly how to stand out on organic content so he's no longer competing with any other fitness coach out there. He's in a complete league of his own. And ultimately, I give him the exact protocol for attracting and converting buyers through content. And just a quick fair warning, this is not your typical advice like copy content, use content pillars, use AI. This is the stuff that the top 1% of coaches are just simply not talking about. They're keeping it a secret. It's really the true difference in why some coaches scale to $100,000 a month in their marketing and other coaches stay at that $10,000 a month. My name's Brett Foley and I have over 80,000 followers on Instagram, helping out some of the biggest info sellers and coaches in this entire space. And right now I'm on a mission to create the world's best coaching incubator that brings in coaches, molds them into $100,000 a month entrepreneurs who are creating a bigger impact in the world. And this video here is a taste of what happens inside the incubator. If you want to see that you qualify for this, we only accept certain type of individuals, the smartest, the most elite, the ones who want to be the biggest in the space. Go ahead, click the link below to see if you qualify to be let in. Other than that, let's get into the masterclass on how to create content that sells. So content is going to be the main engine for driving traffic, obviously. This is just a part of the strategy, as I was saying, to get you to 50K a month. If you understand like the core principles that I'm talking about here, and a lot of it has to do with like conversion content and a bunch of other things like identity selling that we'll get into. But if you understand that, once we get your content firing off organically, then we're going to be moving into ads and you'll have a really, really, really good sense of like what works just through doing your organic content. And the cool thing is how to convert through organic content. Most people try to just go to ads right away and they don't understand conversion. And they try learning that skill in a very expensive way. And if you learn that skill just through putting out free content, organic content, then you bring that over to ads, you're going to be chilling. So this is just part of it. This is like the organic side, but it's going to stem into us eventually doing the ads, which will be awesome. But I'm just going to go over your current situation for the video purpose. So obviously, and then if there's nothing that fits here that isn't your situation, just let me know. We can change it. But current goal right now, I just put 50K for you. I think just getting you there. I honestly believe you're somebody who can get there just by the way, just by some of the things that we've been talking about. I can tell you like you are that character that can get there. So you want to hit 50K. You want to pre-sell some leads. You want to create some different content other than just, here's the top bicep curls.
Yeah.
Okay? And then your ideal client, is busy parents, currently working a high-level job and has kids, overwhelmed with the ways to lose weight and get in shape, doesn't have a clear plan to stick to that fits in their everyday life with the family. Would you say that's right, Chad?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool, man. And then the biggest problems right now is just like you're not getting any real like warm leads reaching out to you, right? It's mainly you doing outbound in the DMs.
Yeah, it'd be outbound.
Okay, a little lack of views. It's not a bad thing. Views isn't everything, but of course, being seen a little bit more helps out a little bit more. So we want to get you a little bit more views. Not standing out is one of them. This is very hard for fitness coaches, and we're going to solve this problem like today. But not being able to stand out is very hard just because there's so many fitness coaches, but that doesn't mean it's bad, right? A lot of people talk about blue ocean versus red ocean. Mm-hmm. My opinion is it's actually good to be in a red ocean. But the problem is if you look like every other shark out there, the fish are going to be able to see you coming from a mile away. The point is we want to make you look like a different shark. And we'll do that. And then just, maybe a little lack of like a good content strategy that talks about like some of these missing pieces of like conversion selling and identity selling that we'll be talking about today. Anything else though, like that you're kind of experiencing?
That pretty much like that. That's I could say that covers it.
Yeah. The one thing too, I know once we solve like a lot of this, your sales calls will become easier. I know there's some things that probably we need to work on the sales side, but figuring out all this makes selling a whole lot easier because essentially you're selling through content. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is like really recalibrating, I would like to say, like the messaging of your offer, not, your deliverables, but just the messaging around it. So many people are hung up on like, man, my offer needs to be the most amazing thing. I obviously that's true. Like you have to have a good offer. But what's more important is everything that's around that offer. How do you bring people to that offer? What is the messaging to display the value that you're going to be giving people? So we're going to be doing that. And then dialing in your content strategy. We're going to make you stand out, be authority, and all that stuff. Okay. First though, Chad, what I want you to understand is the market situation that you're kind of in. And the reason why I want you to understand this is because this is how I think when it comes to marketing. And I believe just getting you to think how I think when it comes to content, marketing, messaging, and all that stuff, that will trickle down into you making great pieces of content without me telling you like, hey, this is the exact script that you need to do. It's more like core principles that once it's instilled, it will just change the way you create content. So right now, like the market level of sophistication for you is relatively high. I would say you're not technically at a level 5 yet, but I would say you're at like a level 4 for sure. Maybe a level 3 in between there. And really what level 3 is like you introduce a mechanism that offers a logical reason why your claim is achievable. So most, the way you begin out in a market is like you can just make any claim. Like I can help you lose 30 pounds, like, and that works. But then you need to start adding a mechanism and uniqueness on top of it. And right now you're probably at like a level 3, or you're just competing on other mechanisms with people, which is a level 4. Just trying to out mechanism somebody else.
Yeah.
So this is not also a bad thing. I think a lot of people look at market saturation, at red ocean versus blue ocean, at all these other things that they believe is bad. It's not true. It just means you need to use different tools in order to acquire customers and all that. So what's currently like not working is you kind of just out claiming all your competitors, like you just shouting from the mountain saying, if you lose 20 pounds in 20 days, like obviously that's impossible, but like people are just out claiming each other like that, competing on value all the time. I would like to highlight that. Like value is not a bad thing. Creating these videos that are, the top 3 bicep exercises are not a bad thing. But just competing on that all the time is a sure way to be seen like every other shark in that red ocean. And then like the other thing is the one size fits all messaging. Man, this is going to be so important for you. What I noticed in the fitness space that works extremely well is just getting super dialed in on not speaking to everybody, on like your person that that you can help out 100% of the time. These are the people that I see go to 100K, 200K, sometimes even greater than that. Because they know that if they try to speak to everybody, they're going to attract nobody.
Yeah.
So we need to like change our generic messaging. And our solutions to that is really going to be this like mechanism engineering and then identity marketing. There's some other things that follow under this and we'll talk about that. But yeah, we're going to be fixing all this stuff here. Do you have any particular like questions when it comes to market sophistication, the things that aren't working?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, because a lot of like, I know like a lot of the people in like the PTBI thing, they're all doing like, all looking to be like everyone's doing the same exact video, like literally the same exact script,
Yeah.
And it's kind of like whoever is basically has the money to pay somebody to edit it better for them. Some people getting the most views. And that's the other thing too I've noticed is that then it seems like it's just directed towards everybody because you have a guy that's 30 doing it, a guy that's 20 doing it, you have a woman that's 25 doing it, and it's all the same video, but it's kind of like not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, it's just you're blending in when you do that. And yeah, so we'll get into the recalibration of offer. This is gonna just starting here is gonna really like fix your messaging from a high level point. And like I said, it'll trickle down into your content. And that's another thing. I don't think enough fitness coaches actually talk about their offer enough through content. Maybe it's because they feel like they're blending in with everybody else. So
Yeah.
right now, what I currently have for you is, your current offer, one-on-one coaching, custom training program, diet plan, support, accountability. So one thing I want you to understand, kind of like to preface everything, this whole entire video, is like the real problem that these people are experiencing isn't nutrition plans, isn't, not knowing the exact workout exercises that they should be doing. It's the internal. This is so important, man. And you can take this like to everything that you do in your business. Coaching these people, selling these people on calls, obviously content. But I kind of want to reiterate that again. Like the real problem isn't them not knowing the nutrition plan. It's not them knowing the workout exercises that they should be doing. It's the internal. What is holding them back from implementing what they already know they need to be implementing? And figuring that out is what we truly want to sell. This will move into your content a lot. Your offer, of course, is always going to be like, these are deliverables of it, but beginning to form this messaging of the things that are truly holding them back internally. Man, once you tap into that, you're never going to be seen like anybody else who's doing a fitness program. And the first step to that is doing your mechanism here, engineering this. Now we won't be able to like fully figure this out on the call. I know you already been thinking about it. You might already have stuff, so we can kind of write some things out together. But yeah, this is the first step. And this is what I just call like mechanism engineering. The first thing that we need to do is understand the market mass consensus of the person that you're targeting, right? Then we get into the beliefs towards that consensus, how they operate or not operating that make those beliefs true. And then the new method, and then the beliefs plus benefits of that. So one thing I want you to do too is like really, really, really lean into that busy parent ideal person, because that's kind of like who you are at the moment. So you can easily speak to that. And the conviction, your tone around that will be amazing. And it's just a good person to really tackle, because there's a lot of pain around that specific individual. So we want to think about that. What are the mass consensus of busy parents, why they can't reach their fitness goals? Kind of like give you an example here. For me, it would be like coaching's getting harder than ever. Kind of curious if you have any ideas of like, what is the group that you're targeting think of as a whole of why they're not being able to achieve their goals?
They'd say like lack of time, lack of convenience. Probably convenience would be huge, I would think, because, job, kids, you're not going to be like, you're obviously pushing like your health down the list, of priorities.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, like I would say the priorities thing. Yeah, like the whole idea of focusing on their family first. That's probably like a huge one there. Like I am here to focus on my family before I focus on myself. I'm here to provide for my kids before I provide for myself. And that's a huge consensus in that market. That's a really good one. Is there anything else you can think of?
I was thinking too, I thought like, it's like a thing where they think like their physical prime is kind of behind them. So it kind of gets into like that sort of all or nothing thing, right? Like, oh, I'm older, I have kids, I used to be like this, but it's, I can't do it anymore. So I'm just going to say whatever and just let it rip, like my physical prime's gone. I've tried to stay in shape. It's not going to happen. I think it's almost like that all or nothing mentality.
Yeah, these are great. Okay. So we're kind of like teetering into the beliefs towards the consensus, which is totally fine. So for this, we want to just write out like, all right, this is like what's holding the market back as a whole. What are their current thoughts in their head that are kind of like limiting beliefs that feed into these market mass consensus? These are kind of like the beliefs too, like it kind of blends with each other, but for maybe like focusing on their family versus focusing on themselves. Like, why do they believe that? Why do they believe that they need to focus on their family before focusing on themselves? I would say, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I would say it's like an energy thing. I only have a certain amount of energy and I put that towards my family first.
Yeah, it's almost like they're like operating like survival mode. It's like they're willingly doing it. They don't really have to be in survival mode, but they kind of are.
What's the belief around that? Like, why do they believe that they need to be in this like survival mode?
If it's not, if something isn't like immediately convenient or takes a little bit of time, then it's like, oh, it's cutting it a time for this. And then it goes again into that all or nothing thing. Like, oh, I can only do it this way and it's not perfect. So I'm going to do kind of, you just kind of fall back into the bad, easy habits.
I like that. Yeah. And by the way, this isn't supposed to be easy. Like figuring this stuff out is hard and requires a lot of train of thought. So we'll write some things down, and obviously I want you to continue like to think about these. But like literally we can already see like some good content pieces being established from this is like just breaking these beliefs. What's like another one? Like let's really think about maybe how they're operating will help us here. What are busy parents like? How are they operating that feed into their beliefs? Like for me, to give you an example, it would be the mass consensus is coaching's getting harder than ever. Beliefs around that is the market's becoming saturated, and then how they're operating, I would say, is like this funnels, or like if I was going to go into messaging, they're copying other people's content, and that feeds into like the market mass consensus and the beliefs around it. How would you say they're operating at the moment that causes the top here? Are they starting and stopping a lot? Are they trying fad diets and stuff?
Yeah, I would say like doing random stuff, stopping and starting, probably like information overload, because it's like, you go on Google, ChatGPT, Instagram, Facebook, there's tons of information overload. And then maybe doing things that are like too challenging right away. They'll be like, oh, I got to lose weight. They jump on a keto diet. It lasts like 3 days because it sucks, or they jump on some high intensity interval workout and then like all their joints hurt after 2 days and they have to stop that. So it's like maybe kind of not having a clear plan and thinking like, oh, well, I need to be doing this. And they jump into like the hardest thing first.
Yeah.
And they don't have any sort of habit building going into it. So
that's really good. I would also say like, what about, it's almost like a afterthought for them until it becomes like a certain situation. Like they have a wedding coming up or like some sort of thing, like they have their health as an afterthought until a big event.
Yeah. It's like they have to wait to be motivated by something.
Yeah.
Like
that, waiting to be motivated.
It's like either like their doctor tells them like, it's like, hey, like you got issues, or yeah, it's a wedding or some crazy vacation or something like that. And then it's all in.
I would even say like they get like self-conscious when they have that event and they like a picture's taken and then they realize, oh man, I'm like overweight. And they're like, wait till that moment there, to be like, oh, and they're like, I really need to work. And then they go hard at trying something, try to lose weight super quick. So
yeah, it's like it's not like done as like a sustainable long-term thing. Everything's sort of just supposed to be short-term quick fixes.
Yeah, that's really good. Short-term. I wonder if there's any like other beliefs, maybe since they're where they're operating. So like, why are they waiting to be motivated? Like, why are they like, what's the beliefs around that?
I think there's like comfort in the same or something like that. Like, to do the same thing every day, even if it sucks, still is like comfort. It's still comfortable. It's like it's what's going to happen. All the variables. Everything's going to happen. Even if it sucks to like go home and eat something bad and feel like garbage before you go to bed and not sleep well. Like people just get used to it. It's like they interpret their resilience in the opposite way.
Yeah. I like it. All right, man. This is pretty good. So then this is where we introduce the new way, right? This is like how they're feeling, how they're operating, everything that they're doing wrong that's leading to the current situation that they're in. Just feeling terrible about their bodies, no energy, all that stuff, all those buzzwords we can put in there. But then we want to introduce the new way. Like, what is the new way for changing all this? And this is something that you had to really begin to piece together on your side. We can just come up with a name for it, But what it should be is for this busy parent that is thinking and feeling and operating in all these ways here. And this is just how we form our marketing message. So like a lot of the times when you begin to talk about your offer, you'll be saying like, hey, all this market mass consensus, the beliefs towards the mass consensus and how they're operating is the old way of doing things. Like no more trying to do a short-term quick fix that leads to starting and stopping energy and believing all this other stuff, and then which leads to the bigger consensus of the market. Like what you want to do is this new way, which is like, I'll just put down like busy parent protocol. I mean, I would change that naming there. This here, the name, the method for all this stuff, it can still be a lot of like what you have, obviously. This stuff doesn't change entirely, but you can begin to get more specific about the things that you do in that program. Like how do we put sustainability in here? Because I feel like that's a huge one. How do we create a diet plan that's sustainable? How do we create a training program that isn't so high intensity in the beginning, is sustainable for that busy parent and works in their lives and works with their family? Like a good example of this would be, obviously they're super busy and they want to spend time with the kids. It's like, let's say after every dinner they take a walk with the family. That way they're spending time with the kids and also working on their health, right? Like it's things like that. I'm not saying you have to do that there, but it's things like that will begin to make this truly feel like it's for them. And when it comes time to pay you $5,000 plus, it better feel just for them, better solve all those problems. They better see the return on investment and how sustainable it is and how it's built just for them. So that's where it comes through. I would just, name this. This takes a little bit to come up with. We have some tools in our Slack channel that will be able to help you out as far as naming this. But for me, it's just about taking some time off, really walking around, getting the blood flowing, and then sometimes these good names start appearing to me. The other thing that will help you here is just developing this out. And I'll give you an exercise for developing this out. You already have a majority of it. It's just developing out the way you explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like trying to play with it the other day. I was like, it started to sound a little too medieval. I was like, it's like, the forge method. Fucking, it's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, I'm still kind of, I got a little list of names. I got to make a bigger one, I think.
I would kind of maybe like something around sustain kind of seems good.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, it takes a little bit to come up with. The more important thing is like having this message and then like the new benefits plus beliefs around it. So really the new benefits is tackling all this. Like a first one we could write here is a sustainable. That's a good identity to label them as sustainable workout program that fits in. What would you say are some like good benefits of your program?
Probably like movement analysis and review. So like when people start, I try to have them do a few basic movements, and then I try to like come up with like sort of like correctives in a sense to help them move better so they can do the exercises better. And then like I kind of work like basic like strength training to like muscle building and then towards like more conditioning. So if someone's with me for a limited amount of time, it kind of builds, so they're kind of build a base and then can kind of refine it.
What you're explaining to me is features. This is what you're going to get. What is like for the busy parent, what is the benefits that they receive? Like what's the ultimate transformation that they get? Not the workout program, but I would say something like systems that put you first and give your family a more energized you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a benefit of your new way of doing things.
Yeah, like I guess like by I guess making yourself a priority to like show up even more for your family or something like that. But yeah, or prioritizing yourself is prioritizing your family. You could say something like that.
Yeah, show up more for your family, feeling good about you, which makes the entire family feel like they have a leader, amazing role model. There's some other ones in here. I think this is good for now. This is some good messaging. I'll give you something to like really build this out. But yeah, man, this is like the first part to it. As you can see, we're starting to get deep here, man.
Yeah.
And just understanding this allows you to understand like what are the things that you could talk about. Okay. Why you can make content around like why are you starting and stopping again? And not give them the how-tos around it, which I'll explain in a second, but you want to give them like the deep reasons, the thoughts, the beliefs that they have that are feeding into that. And creating that for the busy parent, like directly for that person. I don't want to hear you create it for the 20-year-old. I don't want to hear you create it for the single dad. I want you to create it for the busy parent and make these solutions that you provide through content specifically for them on starting and stopping, right? Like you'll be able to create some pieces already from this, which is cool. Any questions, thoughts, or concerns about this particular area?
No, this is good. Yeah, this is a lot like deeper than I've gone.
Good, man. Good. Yeah, it's the deep stuff that will really sell people. So that's all for recalibration. Let's get into the actual content strategy here. I'm excited about this. So your content strategy right now, like you have a couple things that you're doing well, which I'll go over, and you also have some unfair advantages.
Mm-hmm.
You have a 50% female audience, which is freaking awesome. That's hard for a male figure to do. So you have some women case studies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last one is you're a parent, right? You can already just speak with so much conviction because you are a parent, you're targeting these people. So there's a lot of like deeper type things that I'm sure if you just thought about it, like took a step back and thought about, oh yeah, like how am I operating around my kids and trying to work out? Like if you thought about that, you'd be able to create so many great topics on that because you're currently in that situation. These are your unfair advantages and you want to lean into them as much as possible. So that means like for the female audience, like don't be afraid to speak to that mom in one of your videos. Women case studies, don't be afraid to put those up. Like this is great. You're going to target both people, the dad and the mom. But yeah, like you'd be in a much harder situation if like your audience was 90% guys like me, which sucks. All the bros are watching me. There's no chicks watching me, Chad. But yeah, man. Look, the informative fitness tips, they're good, dude. They're really good. Don't stop doing that. I want to make that clear. And for anybody that's like watching this video here, the informative stuff is great. The how-tos, keep that as like top of funnel, as other pieces of content that you have, but you just want to sprinkle in some more things. Your best video at the moment that I thought, just looking at it, was this one here. And it was about, I think you said, keep derailing your fitness progress every time you go out with your kids. That was like the main topic. That was it, dude. Like you were hitting on, a huge problem that busy parents have when they go out with their kids or with their friends or their kids, other kids' friends, families and stuff. They end up going to Applebee's or whatever and start eating the chocolate cake, right?
Yeah.
So that was good. You're like perfectly targeting. It worked because you're speaking to that parent. You're very specific. You're talking about a very specific problem. The one thing though that I would have improved on in this video is you went into the how-tos. Okay, you start explaining like, this is what I do to prevent this thing that happens to me. I drink water. I then eat this type of food, which is fine, right? Once again, how-tos are good.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost think if you like created this video again and just got deeper with it, explain the identity crisis. They know they should be doing certain things when going out, but why aren't they? They know they should be eating healthier when they go out. They might feel guilty when they go out and they eat something bad because they don't have a good sustainable system behind them. And you need to explain that. You don't need to explain how the system works. You need to tell them that, the reason why you feel guilty when you go out and have that chocolate cake at Applebee's is because you don't have a sustainable system behind it. You're starting and stopping.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a sustainable system, you can go out and enjoy a meal or two. And it's fun, right? So getting a little bit deeper in that would help you here. And just targeting that parent. I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's so important in the fitness space to just really like pinpoint this towards that ideal person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think I kind of said like, here's what I do to try to make it like, more like relatable, I guess. But it's like, yeah, I guess the going deeper into the identity is going to be more important, I think.
Yeah, the better video would 100% have been like, are you always feeling guilty every time you go out with your kids, friends, family, and you're eating these foods that you shouldn't? Well, it's not that the foods are the problem. You're eating these things you shouldn't. You feel guilty because you don't have a sustainable system behind you. And you can explain a little bit of your system. Like I make sure I'm eating the right food. So by the time I go out, it's okay if I have a chocolate cake because I counted my calories. I did these things prior and I don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a good video. This video here too, man, was really, really good. The walking or running doesn't matter when it comes to I thought this was great. I thought it was really, really great because you challenged that belief. Like I was like, oh, I didn't realize some of the things that you're saying. Like I was told like walking is better when it comes to burning calories. And you're like, no, that doesn't matter. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like you shifted my entire belief. And now since you did that, I see you more as an authority. So this was a really, really good video. I just would have targeted towards the busy parent a little bit more. Once again, like could have been just like changing the hook. Sometimes you can get away with like busy parents and just saying that in the hook. I mean, like that's okay doing that. But if you really want to get good at messaging, the way you target this busy parent is by saying the pain points that they're experiencing, that only they are experiencing in the beginning.
I wonder if something would be like start off like on the treadmill or something and be like, I just dropped my kid off at daycare. I have 30 minutes, or I have 30 minutes. So I just got off work. I have to pick my kid up in 30 minutes. Do I walk or run?
Yeah, then you go into the belief shifting. That would have been good. That would have been really good. Yeah, lean into that, man. I'd recreate these 2 videos here. And dude, this is also me being like hella nitpicky. So don't think you're doing anything bad here either.
Oh, it's all good.
Cool, man.
Ayush and PTBI ripped me for those videos. Pretty good.
That's all good. That's all good. Yeah.
He told me that one sucked. He hated every part of it.
Perfect, dude. Perfect. Good. If you're not getting hated on, dude, by noon, this is a Dan Kennedy, I think, quote. If you're not getting hated on by noon, you're not marketing. So you should be saying these things that are challenging the beliefs of people or stirring a little bit of drama. It's not bad, man. And I thought like everything you said behind it made sense to me. I was like, oh yeah, totally makes sense. Let's get into identity marketing. This is going to be another like kind of hard exercise. It's kind of like the one we just did around the offer mechanism, but it taps into, more of the identity and the beliefs behind these identities. So it's all about like beliefs once again, but yeah, it's just a little bit deeper. So identity marketing, the way we want to do this is like highlight their old identity that they currently have and then highlight the new identity. This is the difference between the busy parent who is unhealthy, who overeats, who doesn't make time for themselves, who thinks all these certain things that lead to them in their current situation versus the top 1% busy parent. How do they operate? How do they think? What is their identity? Because as we know, identity is really just like this almost like reptilian part of the brain. And if you change somebody's identity, you change their beliefs. And when you change their beliefs, you change their actions. And just highlighting this in content, letting this trickle into that content, man, it really gets people aligned with like wanting your thing. Because you're also like, it makes you speak to them on a whole nother level. So what we first want to figure out here is the current ideal customer self-image. How do they see themselves now?
I think maybe like going back to some of the stuff earlier, like maybe it's kind of like past their prime in a sense, or like.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, they see themselves as a parent, sacrificial parent for the family. They are responsible and capable in most areas in life. Kids, managing work, but are dropping the ball for themselves. Fitness is something, they have like identity misalignment here, meaning like fitness is something extra.
It's like a luxury or something.
I think the like key here too when you speak is making it seem like fitness is the key to being a better parent that manages their time better, that is more focused with their kids, is more present in their job. Like once they figure out the stuff that they need to work on from themselves, everything radiates from that. Their whole lives get better. And explaining that throughout your messaging too. All right, that's a lot there. Let's do the current beliefs once again. This kind of like blends into how they see themselves. Ooh, I think this is like a deep message. Can't stay consistent because kids and work make my life inconsistent. Being a good mom or dad is putting my kids first.
So here, getting in shape means sacrificing family time, and dieting means cutting out everything I enjoy. I guess kind of like the all or nothing type of thing, I guess, again.
Yeah, all or nothing is a good one. Starting and failing is worse than starting at all. That one's okay. Ooh, this is another thing, like life will slow down. That's a big one. This is some good beliefs. And then we want to label this person. I don't always use like a label in my marketing, but just to put a name, all this right here allows you to like instantly think of these, current beliefs and their self-image when you have that label. So what would you like to call these people who operate in this world?
The burnout parent, the survival mood parent, worn out parent.
I like the overloaded parent or like the parent on pause. These are good. Once again, I don't like necessarily say this in my content. Are you the parent that's on pause? Like you can. But I just like to label the identity because this is what makes them up right now. This is their identity. Now we need to speak to this. When we speak to this, man, oh my God, like when you say things like being a good mom or dad doesn't mean not putting your kids first, it actually means putting yourself first. When you say that, it's like, wow, this guy is actually like speaking to me. He's saying the words that are literally in my head. He's literally like saying my thoughts that I didn't even know I had, but are true. And when you do that, like that's when people start coming to you inbound. So this is good. And then we get into the new image. Like, okay, we're creating this gap here. The old identity is the parent on pause. The new identity is the top 1% parent. We'll come up with a name for it, but what is the new self-image of that person? I feel like the energized parent.
Yeah, energized. The breakthrough parent, the comeback parent, the rebuild parents aren't really that great, but kind of in the direction I think. I guess from the parent on pause, you could do the parent reset after that.
I kind of like that as a unique mechanism, the parent reset method. Reset the way you think about working out, the way you think about exercise, health method. This is great. The parent reset system. That might be it, man. We'll stew on that. That could be a good like unique mechanism to explain your whole entire like thing that you bring people through. This isn't just a reset on, working out, like getting you back in the gym and all that stuff. This is a reset on like a whole new lifestyle. Okay, cool. This is pretty good for the new ICP image. We'll get into like the new beliefs, just write down a few. Okay, so we have the parents that aren't doing this, the current situation. Then we have the top 1% parents who experience everything that the parent that isn't focusing on their health. Like they have the kids, they have a job, they're experiencing all of that. But what beliefs do they have, the top 1% have, that cause them to operate in a different way than the parents that are failing?
But they don't have to be perfect. Consistency over time versus, the quick fixes and stop and start. It's they treat themselves better, or in a sense, or they understand that treating themselves better is treating their family better.
I like that.
They probably make health like a central aspect of like the whole family in a sense. Like everyone gets kind of incorporated into it, as opposed to just like, oh, you guys go eat pizza and I'll sit here and eat, chicken and broccoli type of a thing. Like,
yeah,
they like everyone's it's inclusive, I guess.
Yeah.
Their fitness is inclusive. Their health is inclusive.
That's a good one. They lead by example. Maybe there's something like this done. Not for that one, but life always gets busy and inconsistent, but I control how I show up for my health. I think this is good. Yeah, I think there's so much content pieces that can come from this. It's crazy. And I think just highlighting this, you're already starting to understand this person even more, just putting it into conscious thought. You have these thoughts, they're just probably subconscious in you.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like now they're conscious and this will come into content. So the new label here for this would be, I'm just going to put like top 1% parent. And then I kind of like this unique mechanism here. Unique mechanism is the parent reset system. It's a system for sustainability, for resetting your identity, for resetting the way you think about health, nutrition, resetting how you operate within your family, all that. I like that, man. Parent reset system sounds hard, like in a good way. I like that. All right, dude. So this is the identity marketing. Just putting this through your I'm going to send this to you and you can already go through it and just pick one out and start creating content around it, one that kind of resonates with you in that moment. But then I also want to explain to you like the buyer's menu, some things I'm noticing that you're missing in your content that will begin to generate a bunch of buyers. These are just really like ingredients you need to put it into your content that, like I said, like you're pulling on these levers here, these certain mechanisms. And if you do this for 30 days straight, 60 days, 90, like this is when you put all these ingredients every single week into your content, man, people just start knocking at your door being like, I need help. I really need your help to change me. So there's a couple mechanisms for you. The ones that I want you to lean into is the result mechanism and the FOMO mechanism. I feel like you're doing everything else good. Like you seem like a leader. You're obviously, just by the way you look, you're in physical shape. You're showing yourself in the gym. Those are real things that show that you're a leader. Other ways you can show that you're leaders, maybe just feel like I've seen some videos, but it depends how comfortable you are about putting your kid online. But somehow showing that you're a leader in your kid's life. Now, what kind of content pieces is that? I don't know, to be honest with you. But whatever it is, like think about like story posts. What can you show that you and your kid are doing that makes you seem like you are a great father figure and stuff like that, right? Just putting that into your content, weaving that in just sly ways. Think about stories, doing it there would be a good spot. But for the FOMO mechanism, it's really just showing that you're working with people, you're helping them out, you're on a Zoom call with them, things like that, that begin to make people be like, oh, if I hop into his thing, I'm not going to be the first person.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be that guinea pig. So show that people are joining your program, show that people are having a good time in your program, whether it's them saying something to you. Like a good example of this is one of our guys, Dallas. He got an apartment through just working with me, a new apartment, and I showed that to people on my stories. So like show things like that of just somebody saying, man, I was able to spend so much more time with my kid this week because I was so much more energized and my schedule was much better. Like things like that you can show. Show that you, the leader, are interacting with people inside your program, and then also show that you might be giving away some exclusive sauce. So you like made a new training module for people inside your program, or you did something for them that the free people who watch your content aren't going to get. That begins to create FOMO. And then the other one is just a results mechanism. Just really, it's simple. Put results, as many results as you can. Even the small stuff, man. It doesn't have to be a huge transformation of somebody losing 100 pounds. It could just be somebody saying, man, I felt more energized with my kids. Like it could just be that. It could be a written text or a little testimonial. Put that on your stories like as many times as you can. Don't be afraid to do that. When somebody sees that for 30 days straight, just testimonial, they're like, all right, this guy is doing good work. I need to work with him. Yeah. So that's the buyer's menu. You also will have this. I'll send that to you if you need it. Or I'll actually send you this whole thing so you'll have it. So lean into FOMO, lean into the results mechanism, and then the conversion content. 2 things I want you to do there. You're already, in a way, doing one of them, which is belief shifting. But I want you to do that belief shifting around like all this stuff that we just highlighted and even all this stuff on the offer. Plenty of firepower here to use for content and belief shifting around that. So do that. You did a good job. I'll just rework this video here to be more targeted. And then the other conversion content I want you to do is mini sales letters and then just case studies. So if you have like a picture of a client for the case studies, put that up there and explain the process, how they went from A to B, how you got them from A to B. The more people see that, the more people will be like, oh, this person did it themselves. I can also do it working with Chad. The more and more you show that. So if you have any before and after pictures of anybody, put that behind you. Make a little video on it. Tell them exactly the game plan you gave them, the step-by-step process, and that will bring some people in. Mini sales letters is kind of the same thing. This is where you're just like testing out bits and pieces of your offer. This is just like another way to think about content. So you just take bits and pieces of your offer and then do some what I like to call sexy packaging around it. And what makes it a sales letter is that you're directly talking about your offer. So for me, it could be like my offer is, marketing, sales, systems. Under those 3 categories, there's messaging, there's sales calls, there's operations, right? So I can take the messaging portion of it and turn it into a video that's called Post Like a Girl, right? I'm talking about my offer. I'm talking about the way I do things, which is really important. The mini sales letters, I would say, is like the whole point of that is to talk about what you do versus everybody else. Why is your way better than everybody else's? So I come up with things like posting like a girl will make you more money. This is my way of going about content, which is kind of everything I've been sharing with you today. And that's better than doing what you've been told by everybody else. So it talks about your offer, bits and pieces of it, and people become warmed up to your offer before they ever hop on a call. The last thing I want you to do here is look at some of these people. I'm going to put some more here for you. All these people, I believe, are doing like 50K to 100K a month in the fitness space. And you'll notice how detailed they are when it comes to the person that they're talking to. Like this guy, he helps out firefighters, and you can see just everything is around firefighters. And then the specific problems and challenges that they face when it comes to getting in shape. The format, though, I want you to do to test out, like keep on doing the formats you're doing now. But I'm seeing a lot of these that work really well where the description is very heavy in text and it gets very deep. Once again, you want to weave in the identity selling and all that deep belief shifting stuff here, but it's just like a simple video of them like curling something and it says in it like, check out the description to learn more, right? So I want you to test that out. I want you to go through these here to really see how like specific these people are. Like this guy at the top, his whole thing is like for Asian men. So he'll talk about why like the diets that other fitness coaches are trying to get you on doesn't make sense for you because they don't understand your culture and the foods that you like to eat and how to interweave that into a good nutrition plan. So he really like pinpoints that person. This guy here, he's like, if I told you I eat ice cream 5 times a week and still have the body of my dreams, you probably wouldn't believe me. But my friends can tell you it's true. It wasn't always like this a few years ago. I was stressed out of my mind, work, family, life. And when I'm stressed, I eat ice cream, dim sum, late night ramen. Okay, so it's still the Asian guy. You can see like he's targeting the Asian guy by then saying some of these things. So I just want you to go through these, look at them, read them. I'll put some more here and then you'll get a really, really good understanding of some formats you can do and then how to really speak to the person you're trying to target. All right, man. Was this helpful, man?
Yeah, this is really helpful.
Hopefully there's some like content pieces you can already start to create from this. But dude, yeah, for you, it's just like, you know your person now. We know like the identity behind that. What are some content pieces that we can create around these identity things that they're having, identity issues?
Okay.
Yeah. The reason why this works, once again, just to kind of reiterate, is like you said, everybody seems like it's creating the same video, but your thoughts, your expertise on certain areas like this is going to be way different than anybody else. Like starting to talk about while being consistent is extremely important with an inconsistent schedule with your kids. You can speak on that really well because you have that experience and it just connects to that parent like no other, connects to your ICP like no other.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I feel like I rambled on for a little bit, but is there any questions you have?
No, it's all really good, really helpful.